Hey, MCE crew. Today, let's have a discussion about funding your business. Now, as I told you, we are going to deal more and more as the year goes on with actually the nuts and bolts of getting that business started. Because as you know, that's an essential asset that you should have if you really want to achieve financial independence. You can own stocks, bonds, gold, all that has its place in a portfolio. But there is nothing that's going to bring you the type of return that will rival the return you get from a business you actually own, okay, and operate. All right. Step one, do it right the first time. When I worked in the corporate arena back when I was in a technical field, they had an acronym: DIRT, feet. Do it right the first time. It's going to save you a lot of frustration, time, and money. So what do I mean by do it right the first time? Well, go ahead, meet with your tax attorney or your CPA and incorporate with your state. Now I'm talking to the folks in the United States of America because I know how it's done here. Now I know we've got viewers all over the world, but I'm not sure of how you all incorporate, whether it's through your federal government, your state, provincial government. But what you can do is check on your internet and check your government, and they'll certainly tell you how to do it. But if you're here in the United States, go ahead and meet with your CPA, your tax attorney. And I have to imagine that wherever you are in the world, that's probably going to be the same thing you want to do, is sit down with those professionals in order so that they can guide you into the best way to start your business, to incorporate an entity around your business. Now, you got some folk out there selling products through Etsy. Maybe you got some folks with a YouTube channel that they're trying to grow, or selling products through Amazon. Maybe you got some handyman skill and you're marketing that. Whatever it may be, you want to operate under an entity, a business entity. And the reason for that is because, well, for starters, it shields you from liability. The next thing is, you really want to start a business. You don't want to own a job. So putting things under an entity from the start, a business entity, a legal entity, that's going to enable you, that's going to be one of the proper first steps to actually having a business that is scalable, having a business that you're actually able to leverage, okay? And what I mean by leverage is either hire people directly in a W-2 sense, or contract with people, or get into arrangements whereby when the people you are working with or have recruited produce, then let's say they produce something for Keller Williams, they sell a house, or EXP, they sell a house, then you get a cut of what goes to the company because you recruited them and made that production possible. Okay, those types of arrangements are out there, and they're very lucrative for all parties involved. Okay, let me digress here for a second, and I just love to address this. There are a lot of people that say that's a pyramid scheme. Listen, we all have the pyramid structure because everything in the world is hierarchical. There's a person on top that's leading the organization, then there are persons under him, and more persons under them, and more persons under them. Every structure throughout human society is hierarchical. However, pyramid schemes in the financial sense are illegal. Do not take advice from someone who is barely making ends meet, all right, saying that, no, your business idea doesn't make sense. And then there are people in that business that are, making lots and lots of money. Be careful who you take advice from. So let's start with funding. Let's talk about that. Now, your business, depending on what type of business you're in, you're going to need funding. Going back to when we owned the trucking company, we needed funding because we would carry a load somewhere, drop it off, but we wouldn't get paid by the broker or by the company until maybe 30 days later. That's the industry practice, okay? So in that 30 days, other things are happening. Our drivers needed to be paid, of course. Insurance might have needed to be paid. Maintenance definitely needed to be taken care of because that business is mechanically intensive. A lot of repairs go on. So one of the pieces of advice I'd like to give you is pay close attention to the benefits of a line of credit versus a loan. Now, a line of credit is going to revolve, and as you pay it off, then if you spend $1,000 on your line of credit, say you got a line worth $10,000. You spend $1,000, now you got $9,000 available to you. But as soon as you put that $1,000 that you spent back in, now your limit is again $10,000. Now, if you take out, oh, and by the way, the interest you pay will be on the money that you used. So in that scenario, the interest you pay will be on $1,000, okay? And depending on the terms, if you pay it back within 30 days, you might not pay any interest at all, depending on terms. Now, a loan for $10,000, that's something that you're going to pay interest on from day one, all right? Because it's a loan. You get the whole $10,000 in your pocket at one time. Go do with it what you believe is best for your business. But you're going to pay interest on that total amount, okay? Of course, it's not revolving because you already got it all right? So that's the difference between a loan and a line of credit, and that's why I like lines of credit for operational purposes. Now, there are reasons you would need a loan for a business. If you wanted to purchase a piece of capital property, like or capital equipment, like a building, for example, or a server farm, or a piece of equipment like a massive machine, okay, then a loan probably would be your best bet there, because then there are tax advantages that come in to play with that. But for operational purposes, lines of credit, for my money, tend to work a whole lot better and be a lot more cost effective. Now, I'm going to give you some sources to get these lines of credit from. However, I want you to understand that I'm not being paid by any of these people. We don't have any types of affiliate agreements or sponsorship agreements. I'm open to it. This is a business after all, but I'm giving you this just based on informational purposes. So first, let's talk about establishing a business banking account. You're going to need to incorporate, as we talked about in the beginning, and when you incorporate, you're going to need to contact the IRS to get a EIN number. That is kind of like the social security number of your business, and that's what any bank is going to want to see in order to establish a real business account, not a sole proprietorship, just a real business account. And you want to do that because once you put money into that account, then other things being considered, that bank may consider you for a line of credit. Now, I believe you have a lot more luck going to a smaller bank, a regional bank or local bank, than you would with one of the bigger players. Like Wells Fargo recently shut off the personal lines of credit. Big banks, I don't know. They're big and they're impersonal. Not saying they don't have their place, but the smaller banks are much more communicative, much more in tune with you personally and the needs of your business. So you open a banking account, and you can have several business banking accounts. But if you open one with a small bank, they're going to want to see funds coming in, because what they're going to be able to do with those funds is then in turn lend them out based on fractional reserve lending. Fractional reserve lending, I think it's like 10 to 1 right now, which means if you deposit $100 into an account at a bank, then the bank can go out and lend $1,000, okay, 10 to 1. That's how banks make a lot of money. But it's a quid pro quo. They're going to want to see you put money in so that they can work with it. And then in exchange, you up the likelihood of you being able to get a line of credit with that bank. Okay, so again, once you get your business incorporated with your state, you're also going to want to get what's called a DUNS number from Dun & Bradstreet. Now, in Dun & Bradstreet, this will ensure they'll never sponsor me. Dun & Bradstreet will hit you over the head and try to sell you a whole bunch of stuff, okay? Most of which I have found we haven't needed for our business. Okay, we've been in business for almost 20 years now. But they do have that DUNS number. Look over their offerings. The DUNS number is free. You can get that at no charge. And you connect that with everything you do out here involving your business, okay? And that's also sort of like a credit worthiness number for your business. So if you can increase your credit score for your business, then of course you increase the likelihood of being extended credit for your business. We're going to go very deeply into that in a subsequent video. But suffice it to say, you want to go ahead, incorporate correctly through your state using an entity that is appropriate for your industry. Again, you got to talk to your CPA or your tax attorney about that. And when I say CPA or tax attorney, I mean a real deal CPA or tax attorney. No slight to them, not throwing shade against H&R Block and those types of guys. But they're not meant for someone who owns a real business, okay? H&R Block, that's meant for the W-2 employee who has pretty much straightforward, consistent tax needs, okay? Tax interpretation needs. So you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to get your EIN from the IRS. If you go online, it's a process that takes about 5 minutes, okay? It's not a lengthy process. And then you're also going to want to get your DUNS number. Find a bank, and you can ask your CPA or tax accountant about a bank that's appropriate. Go in, introduce yourself. Don't just go in and say, hey, I'm here ready to open an account. Interview the bank, okay? They want your business as much as you might want theirs. So interview the bank. And don't come off at them in a way that, you need something. Because you don't. Because banks are everywhere. I mean, blindfold you, throw a stone in any direction, you'll hit a bank. So interview your banks. Then once you settle on one, you'll be able to take that packet of information, present it to them, open an account. Now, here's another way that you can get some funding for your business. Cabbage and American Express have teamed up. Again, I'm not making any money from these guys. Although I'm open to, you want to sponsor me, I'm here. Just leave a comment in the comment section and I'll contact you. But seriously, American Express and Cabbage have combined forces to offer some line of credit products to small businesses. I'm going to put links in the description. Go check them out. Take a look at what they're offering, see if it's for you. Of course, you're still going to want to have all of that stuff we talked about earlier with the entity established, DUNS number, all of that. There are other ways that you can get your hands on products and services that you may need for your business. Uline, okay? Once you're incorporated, Uline will offer you terms for a credit account for their services. They offer all kinds of things. There's another one. There's Uline. There are quite a few out there. If you're shipping things, Uline might be a perfect partner for you. So contact Uline. Ask them about their in-house credit extension services. But make sure they have your DUNS number because you want to boost up your credit worthiness for your business over time. All right, this has been a 30,000-foot overview of establishing a line of credit, preferably for operational purposes. And then if you need to do anything larger than that, then you can go ahead and look at loans and things like that. but we're going to get into this much deeper. Look, and there are more than one way to skin a cat. As I told you a long time ago, when it comes to building wealth, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of ways to legitimately do that. Okay. The same is true with getting your business funded. All right. So I'm not this type of guy who says my way is the best, do it my way, everything else, sucks and doesn't even matter. No, there are many, many ways to get this done. Okay. I'm giving you the ways that have been successful for me, my family, when we have been out here doing business. Okay. So more to come. I hope that's been helpful, guys. I'll talk to you soon.